now. Again, Neil, thank you so very much. For those of you who do not know Neil, he has been here before, and I had the honor, the pleasure to be with him in one of his summits recently in Fort Myers, a 3-day event. It was just spectacular. I cannot tell you how much I learned, how much I got energized by being with high achievers. Everybody in
Yeah.
that room was a high achiever, and everything that was shared was really I was really grateful not only to be able to attend, but also grateful to be invited to participate as one of the panelists.
Yeah.
Neil has walked the walk. It's not one of those trainers that just speaking out of books or because of he wants to be a motivational speaker. That's not his case. He actually did it himself, and that's why he became so successful. So I cannot thank you enough again for being with us today, Neil, and to share your experience as of why is working with your sphere of influence, including past client. It's so important to for your business to go for a quantum change, and if you know how to deal with it with referrals. So thank you again, and the class is yours.
Thank you so much, my friend. It's such an honor to be here, and thank you for all of those amazing, nice things that you said about us. And it was such a pleasure to have you at the summit this last year, and just really good. So today, thanks again for having me here. I'm going to show you how I've built a referral machine or a referral blueprint, I'd like to say. I was asked to present today on this idea of how do we build referrals, and I've of course have systematized everything, and so I'm going to show you that system today. I'm going to throw a lot at you, so there's going to be a lot of notes for you to take. I'm hopefully we'll have a little bit of time at the end where we can do a little bit of Q&A. But again, if there's any questions or anything along the way, you can always reach out to me. I'm always happy to go deeper with you, and I'll also give you my number at the very end here with all my information on it. So you can text me if you want to get need help with anything. All right. So today, what we're going to learn is how to grow your business consistently through trusted referrals. So how can we build this referral base, and how do we get referrals consistently coming in, and what does that engine look like? Okay. And then I'm going to talk about the proven ways to build trust, because it all comes down to trust. People may know that you're a real estate agent. They may even trust you as a person, but do they trust you with their real estate? And that's what we're going for. I found that once we get them to trust us with their real estate, then the referrals just start flowing. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. And then I'm going to show you a simple plan, like how to get in the groove with this, and like how to actually turn this into a consistent plan that works for you month after month, year after year. And again, it continues to bring repeat clients and those raving fans that we're going after. Okay. So on the surface, the 3-pillar plan that I often talk about, that's the framework that we present. Today we're just going to talk about one of those 3 pillars, okay? We're talking about the sphere of influence pillar. The other 2 pillars are the chase pillar and the attraction pillar. And the sphere is one we're talking about today. It's meant to be in front of your people, to stay in front of your people on a consistent basis to build that referral source, okay? The chase pillar is meant for you to go out there and get it. So it's like open houses, online leads, FSBOs, and expireds, okay? And this is a great way to meet people to bring into your sphere. All right. And then the 3rd pillar is the attraction pillar. And that's like social media and YouTube and blogging and just putting content out there to attract people. Okay. So those are the 3 pillars. But today we're only covering one. We're just going to talk about one pillar today, and that is the sphere of influence. All right. Now, to build your sphere of influence, it's a very simple 1, 2, 3 step process. Okay. So the first step, and I'm going to go over these today so that they're more than just steps, but they're actual things that you can put into action. Okay. So the first step is to build a database. I'm always surprised at how many real estate agents don't have a database. And if you don't, no shame in that. Now is the time to get started. All right. So I'm going to talk about how to build a database. I always recommend around 100, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that today. All right. The second step is, once we've got that database built, let's send an announcement letter. We need to let them know that we're either a real estate agent, or we need to to reconnect with them if we're no longer new, but we haven't done a good job of following up with them, then we can send them a reconnect letter. And again, I'll show you all of this here in just a second. And then the third step is to send monthly newsletters. And guys, I get it. I get it. Monthly, you're like, did I just hear mailing monthly newsletters? Like, what? We're in 2025. Why are we still mailing? And believe me, I thought by now I would be done talking about mailing newsletters. I thought it would be a thing of the past, but it's actually become better over the years because our inboxes are very noisy. I mean, how many emails do we get a day? And then we go to our mailbox and there's nothing there, maybe one or two or three pieces of junk mail, right? There's hardly anything there. So our inboxes are noisy and our mailboxes are not. And so that's why mailing newsletters works so well. And just stick with me today, and I'm going to show you by the end here why newsletters work, and it's something that you should consider doing. Okay. So again, people may know that you're a real estate agent, but do they trust you with their real estate? That's what we're going for here, right? We've got to build this trust. So how do we build trust? This is a tricky thing, right? Like, how do we build trust with somebody? We've got to do it over time, right? And we've got to show them that we're committed and we're consistent. Real estate agents come and go all the time, right? It's the success rate of real estate agents is, the average don't make it past 5 years, right? 70 to 80% don't make it past 5 years. And so the consumer knows this. They know that the agents come and go. So you've got to show them that you're here to stay, right? That you're committed and that you're consistent, all right? You got to also show them that others are trusting you as well. And the newsletter really helps us with this. And I'll show you exactly how that works, okay? But you've got to show that others are trusting you. And then you also need to show them that you know what you're talking about, that you know real estate and that you can actually be here to help them, right? And all of this, if they see others are trusting you and they see that you know what you're talking about and they see that you're committed and consistent, then the trust factor goes up. All right. And again, I have found that mailing newsletters helps us build this trust. So I'll show you how the newsletters that we use and how to use them. But it's a simple thing that you can just get into a routine, and every single month you can mail and you can help build that trust, and the referrals just follow. Okay. So let's talk about building that database first, and then we'll eventually get to the newsletters here. But building that database is the first step. All right. And what you want to do is realize how many people you know already. Okay. We all have a sphere, and some of us don't even know it. Even if you're brand new to town, you might think you only know a few people, and that might be the case, but just dig deep. And it's amazing at how many people you can actually think of that you know, that you could add to this list. So start with your contacts in your phone. It's a great place to start. Look at all the people that are in your phone. Okay. Think about if you've ever mailed Christmas cards, or if you ever had a graduation party or a wedding. I know when I got started at my wedding list, when my wife and I got married, that was a part of my sphere. There's the mailing list, right? It helped me build my sphere. So don't overthink it. You probably already have a list going. Okay. Think about all your friends and all your family, and even go deeper than that. Think about, I think about like my friends and their siblings, or my friends and their parents, or my friends and, maybe there's, some other connections that I know through those friends. So there's always layers to this of people that you might know. Look at your Facebook list, right? Go to Facebook and look at all your friends on Facebook. You've been collecting friends for years. So go there, and there's another list for you. Okay. So there's a whole list here of just things to think through as you're building this database. And I would try to get this database around 100. But if it's 74 or 38, whatever the number is, it doesn't matter. The goal is to just keep growing this database. And if you reach 100 easily, then just keep going. I had my database all the way up to 330. All right. And I don't recommend going over 300. I think that 300 limit is kind of about all you can maintain and afford, because you're going to be mailing to them monthly and doing additional things with them. And so the costs can get out of control. So I always recommend staying below that 300 mark. Okay. So somewhere between 100 and 300 is what you're going for. Take a picture of this and just think through of all of the people that you could add to this list, and keep this list really, really simple. Okay. All you need to do is put it into a spreadsheet. right? Go to Google, start up a Google spreadsheet, a Google sheet, and just list their name and their address. That's all you need. So I start out by just thinking through every name that I can think of, just list them all down, and then go back and find their addresses. You can just search the county records for their county site for your address, or if you have access to the app called Forewarned, that's another one. You can just go in there and type their name, and you'll get their address. If you can't find their address, if it's not public or you can't find it, just send them a message and say, "Can I get your address?" And almost everybody will reply with their address and hardly even ask a question, because it's just like, "Oh, what are you going to mail me? I'm excited to see what you're going to mail me." And they just reply with their address. Okay. So getting your friends and people that your sphere here, getting their addresses should be really easy. So just keep this simple. Don't make this a big project. Like, this is something you should be able to get done in about a week. Okay. So get that database built. And then who should not be on the database? Okay. We're talking specifically about our sphere of influence here. All right. So who should not be on the database is your neighborhood farm. Let's say that you're doing some geo farming and you've been mailing to a neighborhood. They should not be on this mailing list. This is for your sphere only. Now, we could do a neighborhood mailing, another newsletter just for the neighborhood, but just keep this separate for now. Okay. These are only your peeps, your friends, your family, your peeps, your clients. This should be on the list. Another one that should not be on the list is, like, if you've got a whole pile of internet leads that you've collected over the years, that's not your sphere either. That's a part of your chase pillar. And then the other one too is the people that you really don't know. Like, I've had some people like take their whole church list, like they got the church directory and they added the whole church directory. Don't do that. These are your friends and your family. This is who should be on the list. Okay. So now that we've got the database built, we're build that database around 100. Now we should send an announcement letter. And for that, I recommend two different types of letters. If you're a new agent, we've got a new agent letter. And if you're an existing agent and you've been maybe been in business for some time, but you haven't done a good job of staying in touch with your sphere, then send a reconnect letter. Okay. And I've got both of these letters right here for you. If you want to take a screenshot of this, or grab that QR code, it'll take you right to the letter. So if you're a new agent, grab this one. I'll just wait for a second here. New or newer. Okay. If you've never reached your sphere before, use this letter. Okay. And then the other one is the reconnect letter. And this letter is like, it kind of it's kind of an apology letter, but it's also an asking. It's like how we wrote it was, I haven't done a very good job of staying in touch because I've been so busy. And thanks to all of your amazing referrals, my business is going great, but I feel like I got to do a better job. And so from this day forward, I'm going to recommit, and I'm going to mail a monthly newsletter. I'm going to give you a real estate review. I'm just basically opening up the door for them to recommit to you. Okay. Or to reconnect with you. All right. So this is the reconnect letter. So send one of these two letters. And so now we've got our database built, we've got an announcement letter sent, and now what I recommend is sending monthly newsletters. All right. Now let me just explain these monthly newsletters and how they work. And I don't want this to be overwhelming. I want this to be a system for you. And I want you to look at the newsletters as a foundation to your communication plan. I grew up going to church, and we had the church bulletin that came out every month, right? Our local church had the church bulletin. And that's kind of what we're going for here. We want a foundation, a communication piece that they see month after month, year after year, and you're in their mailbox, and they're seeing that others are trusting you, and therefore they're going to begin trusting you. Okay, so look at your newsletter as the foundation to your communication piece. There's two different types of newsletters that I've used over the years. Fast newsletters is one of them, and make sure if you look this company up and you want to use their newsletters, it's Fast Newsletters with a S at the end, plural. Fastnewsletters.com, and it costs about $12 to $14 a month, and they put the newsletter together for you. They email it to you. You can then customize it, make it your own, and get it on out in the mail every single month. Okay. Another company that I used over the years is called Service for Life. They provide a great newsletter, but they're just more expensive. So Fast Newsletters is kind of the new kid on the block. It's $12 to $14, and Service for Life is more like $50 to $60. Okay. Now both of them are great newsletters. Both of them do the exact same thing. They put the newsletter together and they send it to you on a monthly basis, and then you tweak it and make it your own. Okay. Now, beyond the newsletter coming, let me go back to that. Maria, you can grab that one. There you go. So yeah, Service for Life and fast newsletters are the two that I recommend. Okay. Now, to make this newsletter your own and to make this newsletter really work, I want you to follow these rules. Okay. And I'm using Robert Birch's newsletter here. He's an agent that I coach in Georgia, and Robert has had so much success with his newsletter. He calls it the Birch Bulletin. And basically what he does is he takes Fast Newsletter's newsletter every single month and this tweaks it, changes the title, changes up the articles, makes it his own, and adds his own flair to the newsletter every month. Okay. So there's some certain rules that you need to follow around newsletters, and I might be getting a little bit too deep in it here, but I just wanted to give you this information so that you can really see how this thing works. Okay. So the first rule is to make sure that your newsletter is not all about real estate. It should include lifestyle, fun stories, crosswords, just things that people want. Like, think about like the old Reader's Digest, right? That old book way back in the day. Like Reader's Digest was meant for everybody to have a little bit of something in there for them to read. And that's what you're going for here. Because if you just hit them every single month with real estate news, and they're not interested in real estate, they won't even open the newsletter. So we want to entertain them in a way and get them to open up the newsletter. Okay. Another way to do that is to have a trivia section. And this is meant to create a little bit of engagement with your sphere. So every month you're mailing the newsletter out and you're giving them a trivia question. And for anybody that answers it correctly gets a $5 coffee gift card. And then it's great because it creates this engagement with your sphere. Maybe only 3 to 5 people will play a month. It's not like you're going to hear from everybody, but those 3 to 5 people that you hear from, it always is this engagement, right? And it always leads to something a little bit more. So it's so good to be able to have that little bit of engagement every single month with your sphere. And a couple of these other screenshots that I have on the page here are just screenshots of Robert's customers. He gets an email or two every single month from somebody that says, "We just love your newsletter. Thank you so much for sending it." And also commenting on the trivia. Okay. Now, this rule number 3 here is one of the most important rules. Remember how I said that we've got to build trust. And by building trust, we need to show that others are trusting us as well. And this section is exactly where we do that. It's called the thank you section. It's the gratitude section. And in this section, you will write down the people that referred you in the last month. All right. So it's like a thank you section. It's a thank you, Becky, for referring John to me. And every single month you put that thank you section in there. And every single month they see that others are trusting you, therefore they'll begin to trust you. So the thank you section can get really big, and you can thank everybody that has referred you or influenced your business. It might not even be a referral. It might just be, you might want to just thank your awesome broker that supports your business, and you want to put Maria Christina in there that thank you so much for your support or whatever it is. But it's a thank you section to show that others are supporting your business, and therefore they'll begin to support your business. Okay. The fourth one is to have some great call to actions. And again, one of those things that we're going for here is we need to show them that we know what we're talking about. So instead of just saying, "Hey, call me if you're thinking about buying or selling," you should say, "If you want my guide to selling your home for ultimate, the 29 essential tips to selling your home fast and for top dollars, download my guide here." And they're like, "Whoa, she's writing guides. He's writing guides. Wow, he really knows what he's talking about." So you're offering something that is going to help them. It's going to be a call to action, but it's also showing that you've got the know-how or you're writing reports for people, right? So it increases them trusting you because you showing them that you're knowing what you're talking about. Okay. Another thing Robert does is he does client events, and this is something we'll talk about here later today. This really helps getting that engine going. So we're going to mail monthly newsletters, but then we can also add client events. And I'll talk about the client events because you might be like, whoa, not quite ready for a client event quite yet. Well, let me show you how to do them. And maybe this is something that you can step into, because I'm telling you, client events, they're so good because you're mailing to them monthly, but then you get to see them face to face. And before the client event, I call every one of my clients, even if they can't come. It's still just such a great way to touch base with them. And before client events, I really struggled calling my sphere. I just felt salesy. I didn't like doing it. I loved mailing the newsletter, but actually calling them, I struggled with that. So my client events, I came unleashed. I was no problem at all for me to call them, because I'd call them up and say, hey, we're having our party in the park this weekend. Was wondering if you can make it. Let me know if I could add you to the RSVP list. It was just such an easy thing for me to do. Okay. So we'll get into that, but you'll see here, Robert, 2 months before his client event, he has everything in his newsletter. So he's promoting it in his newsletter. And then after the event, he's posting all of the photos from the event. So his newsletter becomes the hub of his client events. Okay. Uh, the, oh, did we just freeze?
Mm. No,
Oh,
I'm
we're
good. We're
good.
good.
Okay,
Yes.
my
Yes, 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 we're
computer
good.
just froze. Okay, I
Uh-huh.
think we're good. We're good now.
Great.
Okay, so the
Rules.
next rule here is evidence of success. Right, we need to show them that others are supporting your business as well. Right, so just having, and this is something that maybe if you don't have a lot of listings and don't have a lot of pendings, you can use the company's listings here, and then eventually you'll have your own, or this is something that you could add to your newsletter later. See, Robert's having, he's got anywhere from 3 to 5 closings every single month, somewhere right in there. So he's always got activity that he can add to this news, or to his newsletter. So these 6 rules will help you get the most out of your newsletters. All right. So that is how we're going to build this foundation of our sphere. We're going to build that database. We're going to send an announcement letter, and then we're going to start mailing monthly newsletters. And again, this is all meant for you to help build their trust, so that when the time comes for them to buy or sell, you're their go-to. And I think a lot of us, we want to look at our sphere. You kind of want to, after you implement this plan, you want to look at it almost like it's an umbrella over your sphere. So the only way to tell if this is not working is if you get a return newsletter, meaning you mailed it to them and they no longer live there, and the mail was returned to you. That's when you know that we missed one. But no big deal. We're going to get the next one. Okay. But that's the thing, is you're kind of putting an umbrella over your sphere. No more should you, turn on Facebook and then there's your friend that just listed their house with another agent. That should begin to go away for you, because they're seeing that you're in. I mean, it can still happen. No. I mean, there's not. It's not bulletproof or anything like that, but it can still happen. But this definitely helps you prevent that from happening. Okay. So again, this is just the foundation. Let's get this foundation built, and then we can add more to this machine. Okay. So what we call it at Agent Rise is Sphere of Influence 2.0. Okay. So the sphere of influence pillar is all here in this box. Okay. The first 3 that are in the blue, that's what we just went over. Okay. So build that database, send that announcement letter, start mailing monthly newsletters. Then there's all kinds of additional options that can add strength to your sphere of influence pillar. And again, we call them Sphere of Influence 2.0. Okay. So what we're going to talk about today, in addition to the newsletters, we're going to talk about client events, pop buys, deal of the week, CMA a day, and joining BNI groups or networking groups. Okay. And I hope I'm not losing you here. I know this is a lot. I want you to see that there's a foundation to your sphere of influence pillar. And then with time, you can add more and more to this sphere. So I'm not saying by the end of the day, go out and, start this newsletter and start doing client events and, just start adding these over time. And this is going to continue to build that machine for you. Okay. So now let's talk first about client events. Oh, my screen keeps freezing. Okay. So client events, the advantages of client events is it's a built-in follow-up plan. So if you've ever wondered, like, what should I do for a thank you gift or a closing gift, my client events were my thank you gift. I would invite them to my VIP group, and I would invite them to join us for our client events. And I did 4 client events a year, and I would get them in the mix of all of those client events. So it was like my follow-up plan. It also gave me a face-to-face engagement with my clients well after the closing. I got to see them every year. It got allowed me to continually show my appreciation, which again continues to keep those referrals coming. And then it's just a great reason to call. Like if you struggle, call on your sphere. You won't once you start doing client events. All right. Now there's two big challenges that come with client events. This is what I hear from every agent. They're afraid that nobody will show up, or they're afraid that everybody will show up and they can't afford it. Right? So what we can do, there's a way to eliminate both of these. The way to eliminate both of these is to co-op with other agents in the office. One, two, three, four. I remember at my last company, we had 7 agents that did our party in the park with us. Okay. So what we did is this: everybody co-ops together. We all co-op resources, and you invite your list, I invite my list. And if we combined 200-300 people show up, then we've got, nobody even knows that there's other agents there, or that not everybody belongs to you. Right. So by co-oping, you're bringing a lot of people together. So you're going to get a lot of people together, but then you're going to divide the bill. Right. So like our party in the park would cost anywhere between about $3,000 and $4,000 a year. I would get some of that in sponsorship money. I would get my title company, my lender, and others sponsor the event. And then the rest of it was divided by the agents that I partnered with. So if I had 7 agents doing this party with me, I think the party that I'm talking about, I think each of us paid like $200. Right. So after the sponsorship money, and so we threw a whole big party for each of us for $200, right? And we got to call everybody in our sphere. And then the fear goes away of nobody showing up, because you've got others that are going to be inviting people as well. Okay. So co-op, I highly recommend it. And again, you can just get together with a few of you in the office, and there's so many different events that you can pick from, and pick one and do it. And then all of you get to invite all of your clients to it. All right. So don't let how many clients you have slow you down. Like some agents are like, if they're brand new, they're like, oh my gosh, I don't have anybody to invite. Like I don't have any clients yet. Just invite your friends and your family. Just start there. Okay. And there's a lot of different events. You can go big, you can go small. All right. So just pick one that works and just start to see the advantages of it. I have an agent that turns her coffee meetings into client events. So what she does is she says on Thursday from 3 to 4, I'm going to be at a coffee shop, and I'm going to call my first client, and I'm going to see if she can join me. If she can't, then I'm going to go on to my next one. You can't, I'm going to go on to my next one. And then usually by 4 or 5 people that you called, somebody can join you tomorrow at 3 o'clock at that coffee shop. And so you turn it into an event, right? And so instead of just setting up all these individual coffee appointments, you set up the event and you find somebody to join you. And then you stop calling once somebody can join you. Right. And then if they say, oh, I can't on Thursday, I'm sorry. And then I'm like, no worries. I do this again. I'll call you the next time. Right. And so you just have these coffee dates or coffee meetups, and it's like an event. Okay. So again, there's so many different events. Let me get into all the different kinds of events. This is the one that I ran for years. And my team still does it in Wisconsin, but it's called Party in the Park. We would host this at a park in our town. We would rent the pavilion. I would rent a couple bouncy castles, one for big kids, one for little kids. I would have a food truck come and cater food. And then we did a whole bunch of raffles throughout the day. Everybody the first 100 people that come gets a free t-shirt. And then we would raffle a trip to Mexico as the grand prize. We would raffle that off at the very end. And you had to be present to win. So people would come early and they would stay late. And we would have anywhere from 200 to 300 people at every one of these events. All right. Here is Robert Birch's event that he does with Santa Joe. If Santa is real, I swear it's Santa Joe. I've never seen a more realistic Santa than Santa Joe. But Santa Joe does an amazing job. Does a fundraiser. He raised over $100,000 last year for kids. It was just amazing. But Robert supports his cause and puts an event on at his house. He has 30 time slots to come get your photos with Santa, and you have cookies and all this other stuff. And it's just, and he puts it on right in his house. So he's inviting people right into his home. And I'm telling you, when people come into your home, they become friends. They're more than just a real estate agent, right? They become your friend. So there's a lot of good things that come from this. So again, this is a simple event. I think this event cost Robert maybe a couple $1,000, and probably 1,000 of it is a donation to Santa Joe's cause. But I mean, it doesn't cost him that much to put on. He hires a photographer, and Santa Joe. So real simple, easy plan for Robert. And Robert is not he's very introverted, and so the idea of doing a client event freaked him out from the beginning when I started coaching him. He's like, I don't know about these client event things, but we found this one for him, and it's just been a gold mine. And I think this is the 4th or 5th year he's done his client event. Okay, another one, and I'm sure you've heard of plenty of these because these seem to be the rage right now. But pie parties or pie giveaways around Thanksgiving. Jeremy Allen's been doing his for 4 or 5 years now in Virginia Beach. It's just fantastic. He rents out this big Apex Entertainment Center. His events cost him about 6 or 7,000, 8,000. He really puts on a big event and has 200-300 people come to this Apex Center, and then everybody goes home with a pie. All right. Now here is a list of client events. Just grab a screenshot of this. There's anywhere from, like I've done house concerts where I had an awesome artist that I know come into town. I rented a really big Airbnb and threw an awesome house party. I knew the Airbnb owner, by the way. So he was invited. So we just threw a big party at his house, had this artist come throw on a house concert. It was so awesome. Everybody went home with a gift bag with his CDs and a bunch of other goodies. And it just went over really, really well. So there's a bunch of others, and I'm going to show you some more here too. Some of these are also public facing, so you can open them up to the public. So like one of the most popular ones is the Trunk or Treat. So this is where you just take your oh, there's the slides. Okay, this is where you take a parking lot. My church back home does this back in Wisconsin, but you could also Matt DeFeedy in New Jersey. He just does this right in his company's parking lot, and he rents. I think he rents a food truck or gets something there for food, and then has music, and then he finds people to bring cars. So he calls his title agent and his lender and his inspector and all of that, come and bring a car and decorate your car. So we need trunks, and then you open it up to the public, and the kids can come and trunk or treat throughout the parking lot. So and everybody gets dressed up, and there's a bunch of a lot of promotion before, during, and after. So these are public facing events that, of course, you would invite your clients to, but just know that this could be open to the public. Another one, this is Andy in Iowa that I coach. His niche is helping seniors. And so he has a monthly event at a senior living facility, a community center, and he puts on courses for seniors. All right. Another one is Josh in Atlanta. His deals with a lot of investors. So he works in his Chase pillar as an investor ecosystem, but every single month he puts on live events, has speakers come and creates this workshop for investors that are also his clients, right? So this is that investor ecosystem working. Another way to do it is to throw a networking event. So this is Tyler and Michael that I coach in Colorado. And they started what's called Brews in Business. And this is just getting people together on a monthly basis to just have a beer and talk shop and network. And it's just the new way of networking. You could also do BNI. There's nothing wrong with BNI groups. I love BNI networking groups. But some of these groups, you can kind of keep them casually. I did in Madison, Wisconsin, I did what I called the I Love Madison meetups. And it was just people that loved Madison, Wisconsin and wanted to get together. There was no agenda. And we did a monthly, and we'd have 150 people show up every single month. And it was just amazing networking for me. Okay. So there's a lot of different ways to set this up and do different events, but just understand that events are meant for you to attract people and have that face-to-face and that engagement. And again, it just adds to the machine. Another one is Popeyes. If you don't want to do client events and you'd rather just pop on in and drop off a gift for somebody, Popeyes are really popular. Jeremy Allen, who I coach, he orders a whole bunch of these mugs, has his trunk full couple of these mugs and has these little gift bags that he puts the mug in. And when he is in the neighborhood, he just drops by people's house and says, "Hey, I was in the neighborhood, got the new mugs out. I just wanted to leave you and Becky one." And he'll like, everybody's got a Ring doorbell, so he'll leave a video door, he'll ring their doorbell and then leave them a video, or he'll get out his phone and do a video and text them and just say, "Hey, I just dropped off a gift at your front door." Another lender that I work with, she hands out these mugs and fills them up with candy in them, and has another little gift bag and hands out these. Okay, so these little gifts, I think Jeremy spends $6-7 per mug. These are probably a little bit more, but some are right in there, and then just have them in your trunk and hand them out and give them out gifts. Okay, so Popeyes, there's a whole list of them. If you want, go to Popeyes.com. Popeyeideas.com. There's hundreds of them. A lot of them are super cheesy. I wouldn't even use them, but there's a lot of ideas. All right. And again, these are ways for you to get in front of people and just stay in touch with them without being salesy or without being cheesy. Okay. Another one, and this one has gotten really popular to stay in touch with your sphere on a consistent basis, is what we call is a deal of the week. All right. And this is really good for those that are maybe into investing and constantly looking for the deals. But you can just send out a weekly email that doesn't give away all of the details. You don't want to give them everything about the property because otherwise they wouldn't reply. And so the idea behind the deal of the week email is to give them a little bit of information, but don't give them photos, don't give them an address, don't give them any links, and instead just say reply if you would like more information. Now, this could be set up for investors. So you could put in your newsletter like, "Hey, if you're thinking about investing, sign up for my deal of the week email. I send out a deal of the week every single week." And this could be a call to action to get people signed up for, or everybody that you have an email for, you could add this to. All right. And so this is what we call the deal of the week. I just realized that I'm missing my last slide. I don't know what happened to it, but let me just explain the last idea that I have for you here to get this machine running. Is the idea of unsolicited CMAs. All right. So this is an idea where you can reach out to people that are in your sphere, that are homeowners, and give them a market review without them even asking for it. Right. So an unsolicited, unasked for CMA on their property. All right. And how we do this, you can mail it. You could put a CMA together and put it in the mail to them. Or I think the better way to do it, and this is the way that a lot of the agents that I coach have been doing this, is use like Loom, or you could even do it in Zoom or Descript or any video software that you can record your screen with, and then you'll be in a little bubble down in the corner, right? So you probably already have something on your computer. If you have a Mac, you probably already have it where you can screen share and do this, okay? But it's about a 3 to 5 minute video. And you start out by talking about the nationwide market as a whole. And you say, in some parts of the country, like in Florida and Texas and in Arizona, we're starting to see higher inventory. But the whole country is not a buyer's market quite yet. We're just starting to see a little bit of an uptake. And then you get into Florida and you talk about Florida. Now, Florida's got one of the highest inventories. And so as a whole, you start talking about Florida. And then you get into Miami. You get down into the region and into where they're at. And then you talk about locally kind of what we're seeing. And then you get into their neighborhood. Last year you had 4 sales in your neighborhood. Here are those 4 sales. And then it sets up at the very end of the video, it sets up for a great call to action to say, "Hey, if you would like me to run the numbers on your home, I'd be happy to do that. I could either come out or I could do it all right here from my desk." Okay. So these unsolicited CMAs, again, if you've got your sphere and you're looking to go deeper with your sphere, and you want to get in touch with your sphere and get some things rolling. We've got the foundation, we've got the newsletters rolling, but then to go deeper is an unsolicited CMA, or signing them up for the deal of the week, or signing them up for a home evaluation email. Anything that you can do to reach out to your sphere is what you want to do in this Sphere of Influence 2.0. Okay. That's what I have for today. We did leave some time here. I'm like right on time here, aren't I? So we've got some time here for
Yes.
any questions. And also if you're interested in learning more about Agent Rise and the 3 pillar plan, learning more about what we talked about at the summit and that whole overall plan, we've got a guide that's put together for you. And so if you just text the word action to 833-500-1135, it will automatically reply to you with that guide. And then it'll also give you the link if you want to schedule a strategy session with me. I'm happy to do that with anybody that's here. I'm happy to do that. So you can schedule the strategy session. And then if you schedule that strategy session, you get 1 free month of the academy, which again will all be in that link. So just text the word action to 833-500-1135 and we'll get you taken care of. All right. What questions do we have?
Wow, Neil, that was amazing. I can't believe that you put so much information in a 40-minute class. It would have taken me like two hours to go over the details. But
It's like,
as I said, I think that sometimes we forget that being successful in this business, it's going back to the basics. As you said, I'm a firm believer in mailing pieces, and doing client events. I was actually talking to my realtors in a training yesterday, and I told them the importance of keeping your database in touch with your database. And this newsletter that you say, sometimes we forget. We're people, we're human, and we forget to do so if we don't have systems. And we have great clients that we have not followed up or not kept in touch with, that it's a gold mine what we can do once we re-engage with them with the strategies and the client events. It's like now, no, now more than ever, I believe that in-person contact is crucial because
yes.
everybody's on their phones, everybody's not even listening to your voice because it's like all text, all WhatsApp. You don't even know how the person's voice sounds like. So I think that this is incredibly valuable to those of you who are starting. I have people here who are just brand new, and sometimes it says, "What do I do? How do I start?" And as people who have been with me for years, they know that this is my number one class. Sphere of influence is the way that you're going to go. Out of your sphere of influence, 70% of your business is going to come due to the fact that they're going to do business with you, or they're going to refer you people to do business with you. So you don't really need clients in order for you to be successful to start. So I don't know if anybody here wants to ask Neil a question. As I said, he's an extremely highly reputable coach in real estate. It's just an honor and a pleasure to have him. So, and he's like full of knowledge. I met Jeremy, by the way, the guy that he's telling about the mugs and the client events with the pies. I met him. He's a high energy individual, very young, and is making like thousands of dollars a year implementing this strategy. So anybody who wants to share something, make a comment, ask a question. Hello, you can't be
Yes.
shy and be in real estate.
Yes.
This is a contact sport. It's like you need to have somebody else to interact with. So anybody, and a strategy that you like, somebody that something that you want to know to do, how more to do about.
Good morning.
And
I'm
Good morning.
actually
yes.
very happy to hear all those details. I actually heard it before and I understand that they are really effective. I'm very pro the clients appreciation event. And I can tell you as a agent with a few years in the market that those events are really 100% effective. I can tell
Mm-hmm.
you that I did last year one, and I did and sell only for that event on in sell 3 millions an event.
Yay, that's an amazing testimony, Wendy.
That's so
So
awesome.
that's an approve. I actually did a transaction with you, and one of that transaction, it's part of my client's appreciation.
Amazing.
My cost was minimum because I did include my three vendors, title
Yes,
company, lender, and insurance company. In
yes.
my cost in a Coral Gables restaurant, it was around like 700 by myself. All because I did some goodies and things like that. It cost me a little bit more, but it was super effective. And it was my first time doing it because I was a little afraid of doing it and everything like, oh my God, I can do it. The same thing he was saying. And I realized that, oh my God, it was so affected. And I did had so much positive feeding from my clients that I had to do it every year.
That's
Yes.
amazing. And by the way, that transaction that we did together, it was flawless. I mean, it was like
Yes. I
flawless.
appreciate you, a great agent and very professional, that I can say.
Oh, thank you. Likewise. So see, you have a great testimony done in here, first time ever doing a client event. And what Neil said, I mean, we have partners, and part of the reason why we have this club is to have vendors for you. Title companies, mortgage brokers, inspectors, anybody in the business is going to be very happy to do this with you because at the end of the day, we're not alone. The industry of real estate, you require many professionals in order for it to be successful and to take it from A to Z, like from A to closing, from beginning to closing. So and that's the way that you leverage. You have to be smart about it. Leverage with the people that can give you what we call marketing dollars. Marketing dollars is like paying for the event or doing the event, hosting the event. The same thing with open houses. And what Neil said, do it together. If you feel like kind of like iffy for the first time doing it, do it with your somebody else in your team that can do it together. So thank you so much for sharing that, Wendy. I know that Angeles had opened the microphone as well. I don't know if you want to share something or ask something, Angeles, before we come to an end.
Yes, I just wanted to thank you and Neil. Just a quick thank you because these are so valuable to me, to the group, and I've been to all of his trainings, and I haven't been so good. I have to confess, and following up on with the things that I've learned, but I that's my commitment from this class. So I wanted to speak out and put myself on the spot to next time I'll be sharing
Yes.
some some results. Thank you.
Go. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you so much, Neil. Thank you,
Yeah.
Christina. I love these. Thank you.
Awesome.
Oh, you're very welcome. And I mean, I'm sure that Neil's going to say this to you as well because I've heard him say this before. Don't get overwhelmed. I think that one of the things that paralyzes realtors is that they want to do everything at once. They hear all these amazing ideas, like the classes that we had last week and last week. We have so many amazing ideas. Even myself as a broker with 20 plus years experience, I hear a new idea and a new idea and I want to implement them all. That's probably the biggest mistake, trying to implement everything at once. Don't get overwhelmed. Start with one. Master that idea, have it perfectly set up in your system. And once you are very familiar with it, then another tool to your system. That's the way that has worked for me. Otherwise, it gets too overwhelming and you get paralyzed because you get like afraid, I'm not going to be able to do this, and fear paralyzes you. So that's what the one tip that I can tell you. Just do it
Amen.
once. Or like Wendy, just say, I'm going to do one event. That's it. I'm going to do it. Doesn't matter how it goes. Once you do it, you feel more comfortable. And then you start doing it this like Neil used to do it 4 times a year. So
Yes.
anybody
Yes.
else that wants to add something, comment. For those of you who are new, they're just starting, if you have like a fear of what is it going to be like when you're just launching your first client event or whatever strategy, this is the time, guys. We have 4 more minutes.
Yes. Yes. Yes, and remember too that we've got the Agent Rise steps. So,
Yes.
and that's meant for you to just follow that so you can do it step by step. So, that first step is build a database. Second step is to send the announcement letter. Third step is the newsletter. We covered those three. But from there, we're going to build a chase pillar. We're going to set up your matchmaker. We're going to get systems in place. Anything that you do repetitively, it has to have a system. And then we're going to go on to setting up your attraction pillar. And then we're going to come back and add more to your sphere of influence pillar. So those 8 steps guide you so that you don't have to overthink it. Just follow the steps and build out your business that way.
Yes, take advantage of this text action to 833-500-1135 and you'll get it for free,
Yeah,
as
it's all in
well
that
as,
guide.
if you guys didn't, the QR code for the letters was just amazing. And the tips that he gave about the pop buys, the little gifts that you can do to for your client events. Those are amazing. And the newsletters. Thank you for that tip. Because actually I've been wanting to do newsletters again. I used to do them digitally, and
Okay.
you're so on point. My newsletters like went from like opening rates like lower and lower and lower and lower because everybody's bombarded via email. So
Yep.
definitely this is a great tip. So where
Yep.
can you print them in a cost effective? And another tip before
Yeah.
you guys end, just for you to know, I'm a very analytical person and numbers have to make sense for me. Out of your sphere of influence of this database that he's asking us to do and to keep and maintain, 8% will do business with you on a yearly basis. Guaranteed. It's just the statistics. So if you
Yes.
have it like, at a 300, which is, a beautiful number that you mentioned, between 100 and 300, that's, how many are you getting
20, 30
from
deals a
that
year.
only sphere?
Yep. Yep.
That's 24 people. That's 2 closings a month
Yes. Yes.
just by using this strategy.
Yes. And
If you
if
have
the
100, it's eight a
right.
year, 8 closings that you're
Yep.
going to do a year just by 100 people.
Yeah. Yeah. My 330 every year brought between 50 and 60 transactions every single year for 23 years. I mean, it
Yeah,
just,
and in that case, your rate was higher because of all the engagement that you
yeah.
had,
Yep. And
right?
yeah,
Because
because
it's
you
not
add
only
that.
the client, it's
Yep.
the referrals that you're getting from that client.
Yep. If you
So
just
this
mail
doesn't
the
make sense.
newsletter, it's like that 10%. And you add the client events, I think you can get up to that 20%. So that's
Exactly.
exactly
So
it. Hmm.
imagine how it is, for those of you who want to have one closing a week, that's the mindset that you should have in this business, at least once closing a week. And one
Yes.
closing a week is 50 closings. Here
Yes.
you go. That's all you need to do. That's it.
Yes. Yes.
Concentrate, master this, and you will do it. So
So
I
good.
cannot thank you enough, Neil, to have you again. Hopefully
Yes.
by the end of the year we can squeeze one more,
Let's
trying
do
to
it.
get prepared for the next year. We're always, very, very good at saying, let's try to be proactive instead of reactive.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
market is switching and people, regular agents or mediocre agents will justify the market. I think the top producers or people who want to be successful take the market. It's like,
Yes.
it's like your mindset is like, it doesn't matter what's going on. People are still going to need to sell and they're still going to need to buy. Doesn't matter
Yes.
what market we're at. So take on that mentality and be very aggressive of putting your business plan, the business plan that you're going to be able to achieve and that it's doable. And with the pillars that the Neil teaches in his coaching, is so easy to follow the plan and get it done.
Yes. I got one more thought real quick. I just want to leave this
Yes,
one
yes, yes, of
is
course.
if you're thinking, oh, these newsletters sound great, but boy, stamps I hear are now up to over 70 cents and the mailing and all of it, we're probably thinking about $1.50, $1.75 per person per month, right? And that's a big investment. You got 100 people, that's almost $200 a month. Can I swing that? If you can't, don't let it hold you up. Instead, go find sponsors. I remember during the recession, I was down and out. Oh my gosh, my business really took a nosedive. I was in a tough spot, but I knew that I needed to keep my newsletters rolling. And so I went to my lender, I went to my title agent, I went and they bought my stamps and paid for the printing and we held on to each other and got through that hard time. So go find a lender, go find somebody that even contractors, anybody that wants to market to homeowners, insurance people and security, anything, anybody that markets to homeowners, they would want a spot in your newsletter, and they can have like my lender had a little mortgage corner. She did a little mortgage update of what's what the interest rates are and what's going on in the mortgage world, and it was all
Fantastic.
brought to you by Abby Wetland, my lender. All right, so don't let anything hold you up. Like if you're like, hey, this is a great idea, but I can't afford this right now. Don't say that. Instead, say, how can I afford this? Who can I go find that help me do this?
That's a fantastic, fantastic idea. Thank you
Yes.
again so much. And
Yes.
for just a reminder, next week we continue with our classes of how important it is to market yourself. And don't miss it next week at 10
Yes.
a.m. Thank you, Neil. Great
Thank
seeing you.
you.
Looking forward to seeing you soon.
Likewise.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Thank you, everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.